Hi, and welcome back to C1 Risk Training. Today we're working in the compliance management module, and we're going to start the audit process and show you how you can work very quickly through your readiness for any kind of audit on the OneRisk platform. So as you may know, just as a refresher, we do have this obligations library that's available to you with more than 100 global regulations and standards that are available for you to choose from. Or, of course, you can add your own at any time or contact us if you want us to add additional frameworks. Those frameworks can be found here in your platform. So you'll see we've got the library that's already populated here. But if you wish to add or take away any at any time, just come to your company account as an administrator, go to settings, and then here you'll see the full library. You can add or take away as you need to, and then just click save, and that'll give you your own personalized obligations library. So today we're going to start the compliance process. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to be working with ISO 27001, but this is really standard for many of the different certifications or requirements that you might be working with. So if you're working with the DoD and you need to get CMMC certification, you can start with this method. PCI, to some extent, you can as well, HIPAA, so on and so forth. So you may be working with a regulation where you have to implement all of the requirements if you're doing FedRAMP or something like that. But generally speaking, this is a great methodology to get you on your way. So we're going to go into ISO 27001. And as you come into this, you'll see the obligations sections. So here we see the full annex for this global standard. And if we went to control libraries, we'd then see all of the actual controls that are part of this standard. So you see the full annex here. And if I extend out, you see we've got all of the leadership value controls as well. So I'm going to go back to obligation sections. I prefer to start from here. I think a really quick and easy way to do this is to just scan these obligation sections. And what we want to do is decide what's in scope for us initially from that compliance perspective. And it may be everything, but a great way to do this is to just pick one of the obligation sections. So I'm going to go into, I think I chose access or asset management there. And then as we go into the control libraries, you're going to see all of the different controls that are part of this section. And I like to do it like this just because it gives you a little bit more focus on these different control sets. So you can think about how you're managing your assets and what you need to do to be in compliance with this certification. So now what you could do is you can either drill down into each of these different controls and read them and evaluate whether or not you need to be in scope for them. And then what we can do is very simply, we're going to select which ones are applicable. So I'm actually going to, I'll just take a selection here. Let's say we've got these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here that are applicable for us. And then what I would do is I would select SOA here. Then I can choose whether they're applicable or not, and then just click save. But for ISO in particular, I'm going to do something a little bit different because ISO wants you to provide a statement of applicability either way. So actually, really, the auditor is going to look for why the control is not applicable. That is an option for you as well. So these weren't applicable. Do remember that you can actually just do the ones that are not applicable. But another way to do this then is to just take all of these and then just we'll just tag them as applicable for now. Now you'll see if I go to my view and I add the applicability view, here's how I sort my list view. Now I can see that I've selected all these as applicable, and what they're going to do is they're going to appear in my compliance module now. So I'm going to go to my compliance module and applicability. Here you'll see they've all now been listed for you. So this is going to be one way that you can see as a repository, the controls that are applicable for you for any particular certification. And note that we can sort, if we've got multiple certifications in here, we can sort by obligation later on. So we can do multiple different types of audits and keep the applicability in here. And so this is where we're going to actually start writing our internal controls from, or this is one option for you for writing your internal controls. Now, what you can also do here, once you've got these in, if you decide that you then want to actually signify that some of these are actually not applicable, then we can go in and we can change the SOA, or sorry, and we can change applicability. There we go. And just click save. And then as we go into each of these, what we can do then is we can edit them and actually add that statement of applicability. And so we have the option to change it here as well. We don't have to do it in the list view. Okay, so this is where we're now going to write a statement of applicability. And that statement, of course, is just a general statement which gives you that kind of detail for the auditor to understand why this control is in scope or not in scope. Okay, so that's it. You're done there. And so once you've gone through your control library and identified all of the controls that are in scope, then we can go to the next step. And as we click into these, you'll see the control library here, and you've got the control description already connected. And now we can start building internal controls against those different control sets, the internal control being how we actually implement this framework within our organization. And once we've got that internal control written, then we'll also connect evidence to this that will show how we're going to verify and be able to validate that we're implementing that control. And those are the next steps in our compliance protocol. Okay, and you'll see it all listed here. It actually runs in order through the compliance module. So you'll see these internal controls come into your repository. And similarly, you'll also see the evidence. That's often called an IRL from auditors as you come in. Okay. So that concludes our training today. That's step 1 on the road to compliance, and that's providing that applicability. Thanks very much.